All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm so glad you all came out here. My heart is so full of gratitude right now. Seeing your faces, wanting to know it really touches me. And I love you all. You know, it's so great to see people that you see on Zoom and all that, and you're like, oh, you know. You feel like you know everybody, though. It's a beautiful thing. So, you know, I know most of you from a familiar place, so I just thought it would only be appropriate if we started this thing with a little prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, so I don't have to hurt that way again. I don't wanna hurt again. Oh, I was feeling loneliness, but I was never alone. And I was seeking to be held when you were there with open arms. I could never get enough of what I just don't know. So I just kept on searching in that bottle of alcohol. So grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, so I don't have to hurt that way again. I don't wanna hurt again. I told you I was happy. I lied, I was hurting inside. Like a clown with a painted smile on. Yeah, reality was easy to hide. I know today to live one day at a time, so I can spend the rest of my life living a life that's mine. To grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, so I don't have to hurt that way again. I don't wanna hurt again. Okay, y'all gotta know it by now. Grant me the serenity to accept
The things I cannot change.
You're getting there, you're getting there. Change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, so I don't have to hurt that way again. I don't wanna hurt again. Thank you. altar call and there we will pray. And I find freedom. That's what I find when I pray. Oh, I find freedom, knowing the Lord will lead the way. Got home from work today, grabbed my fishing pole and dog. I went to the lake. I said I got home from work today, grabbed my fishing pole and dog. I went to the lake. And when I got down to the lake, I went out on the dock and there I prayed. Oh yeah, I went down to the lake, I hit the dock and there I prayed. And I found freedom. That's what I find when I pray. Oh, I found freedom, knowing the Lord will lead the way. Freedom, freedom, Well, I gotta tell you, that's where I get my freedom, okay? I get my freedom when I pray. You know? I get my freedom when I just like say, you know what? There's so much going on. And I just turn to my higher power and I say, it is all yours. Because there's so much that just gotta give all the time. And when I'm not talking to God, I'm talking to Travis. You know? And you know, in the squares, they call me Travis G. But it really used to be Travis Steve. You know? Because that's what it was. And my life was a mess. And, you know, I've come to realize that my whole life I was searching for something bigger, but I didn't know how to get there. And, you know, I'm not a religious guy, you know. I'm a spiritual guy. You know, I have my higher power. I know everybody's got a higher power. I encourage you to have a higher power. I encourage you to love your higher power. You know, I love my higher power. I know my higher power loves me. And you might call your higher power Gus. You might call it whatever you want. And you might hear me say a couple things. You might hear me talk about Jesus tonight. That happens to be my higher power. I gave him a name. You know, and so, but I don't. When you hear that, I want you to focus on what you call God, okay? And I was talking to a sponsor about this, and he and I were sitting there at the table and we're talking about this, and I'm encouraging him to seek his God and his relationship. And he said, he looked over at me, he goes, oh man, I want to be religious like you. I said, dude, I am not religious. In fact, I looked at him, and this is what I told him. Not a religious man, just love Jesus. Oh, some call me a spiritual man, but really, I just talk to God. life I wanted the simple things, but my ways never let that happen. My mother was a trucker, father was a rambler, and my brother a makeshift dad. Now I've seen the rain, and I've seen sunshine. I've walked right through hell. There I found heaven. I've seen a lot of things. It's just a journey where I am now. You know, we've all been through some highs and we've had some lows. Had good times and there's been bad times. But you know what really matters is where you are right now, the now. Power of now. I've come to realize that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm going through, I can find that happy, joyous, and free moment. But it has to be in the now, and for me it has to be something greater than me giving it to me. 'Cause I've seen the rain, and I've seen sunshine. I've walked right through hell. There I found heaven. I've seen a lot of things. It's just a journey to where I am now. You know, in that song, it says my mother was a trucker, my father was a rambler, my brother a makeshift dad. You know, my daddy was a rambler, you know, and he left when I was probably about 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old. He decided, you know, he wanted to do some other things, and he just kind of took off, and Mama, she was going to take care of her kids, man, and she did. My mom's online right now. I love you, Mom. And she went to Wally Thorpe Truckmaster School. She became a trucker. She worked there, and they have her on the CB radio, the mother trucker, you know. All right, breaker, 1-9 out there for the mother trucker. You know, she was determined to take care of her kids, and she did. And you know, but my daddy, oh boy, my daddy, he was something else, you know. And I was a little bit of a rebel. I remember I was about 14 years old and I was getting into trouble. You know, I found girls, pot, and beer. A bad mix. Mama was gone a lot, you know, and so it was like, oh yeah, you know. And anyway, I became a little bit of a rebel, and Mom decided she's going to send me to go live with Dad for a summer. So I went to live with Daddy for a summer out in Bakersfield, California. And he bought me a guitar, and I learned 3 chords on that guitar. It's the only 3 chords I know today. and I wrote a song, and it was kind of funny, you know. I hadn't seen him, and I begged Mama, can I please come home? I'll be real good. It's kind of hard living out here with Daddy. And so Mom let me go back home, and I went home, and I didn't see my dad for about 3 years. I was about 17 years old, and he was visiting, and he went out to the bar, because that's where we met. We'd go to the bar, you know, my grandparents owned the bar. And we'd go to the bar, and he'd say, hey, we're going to be in town. And it was usually on a Sunday, because Grandpa was a bookie, you know, and so the bar would be full. He'd be doing those football bets, you know. And I went down there, and I met him at the bar, and I had my girlfriend with me, and I remember me seeing my dad. He had a girlfriend with him too. He introduced me to her. He said, hey son, I want you to meet Short Ribs. I said, Short Ribs? I guess that was her name, her nickname or something. I'm like, what do I call her, Mrs. Short Ribs, you know? Yes, ma'am, you know. And so he says, he's sitting there and he says, son, did you ever learn how to play that guitar I bought you? I said, yeah, I did, Dad. I said, in fact, I wrote you a song, and it's out in the car. He says, oh, go get it. And so I go out to the car to get the guitar, and he's in the bar. He's letting everybody know that I wrote him a song. And so when I came back in, I played it. I was thinking, this is the first song I ever wrote. And I was thinking recently, I think it's the first song I ever played on a guitar, too. This song for you, to tell you my life through and through. You left as a taunt, no advice for my future. I feel like a frame, help me paint my picture. Said rambling Dad, won't you come home? Come home to the place where you belong. I said, rambling Dad, won't you come home? Take care of Mother so she ain't alone. Time goes by and I'm getting high. Your darling young daughter, she's now dating guys. Oh, I miss the good times on our vacation trips. Let's all get together before time slips. I said, rambling Dad, won't you come home? Come home to the place where you belong. I said, rambling Dad, won't you come home? Take care of Mother so she ain't alone. Dad, I wrote this song for you. Well, when I finished that song, there was not a dry eye in that bar. Short Ribs slapped my dad and called him an SOB. And the first thing my dad did, right? Short Ribs slaps him, and my dad immediately says, son, if you wrote me another song, please don't sing it. You know? Because Dad just brought laughter to every serious moment. He just did that. You know, and he was the only eye in that place that was dry. And I remember that. And you know, and I remember when I left that bar, I remember being with my girlfriend, almost a little bit embarrassed. Feeling like, I don't want to live that way. I'm going to change our name.
we're going to be rich. I'm going to work hard. I don't want to be somebody who hangs out in bars and doesn't have money and is poor and all that. I want to change the gray name. I'm like, I had all this drive, and I did not want to be like my dad. And one thing about my dad, I loved him so much. He was such a great guy. He was just an alcoholic. You know, he was still 18. He just never grew up. He was the funnest guy. He could make anybody laugh. And you know, he had a reason for everything. He just justified everything he did. There was always a reason for it. And I remember, you know, I was determined, and I was determined to be different. I was determined to be rich, and at the same time, I had so much of my dad in me. And I got married young. I got married at 18 years old, and I sought off to the Silicon Valley, man. That's where I was going to chase my dreams and be rich, make money. And I worked really hard. And I was so determined. I know today I worked so hard. And it was a God-empty hole in my soul that I thought if I just made enough money, it would fill it up. That the reason I was miserable, the reason we were, you know, on having troubles with life and stuff is because we were poor. And you know what? We never lived poor. I didn't know I was poor until somebody told me I was poor. Mama took care of us, you know? But I got into this mindset. I got to be different. And you know what? At a young age, I got married. I moved to Silicon Valley, and you know what happened is I worked hard, and next thing you know, I was about 25 years old, and I was selling test equipment to this small little company called Intel Corporation. And it was about the time they brought out this new computer chip called the 386. It was a brand new microprocessor that went into every computer. It was the biggest thing on the market. And guess what? They wanted to use our tester. So by the time I was 28 years old, I had made so much money. I was traveling all over the world, bought a big house in Danville, California, had 3 kids. I looked like I had it all together, you know. And but I was just an absolute mess. I remember sitting in my house in Danville and my brother was with me, and ironically we were waiting for my dad to come visit. And we started, I was going like this. And I said to my brother, I said, that should be a song. He said, yeah, that should be a song. And we wrote this song together, and it's called Reasons. see him each and every day. Oh, I say leave me alone, I got my own reason. Don't know why I do what I do. Things I wanna do, I don't do. Got my own reason. You know, after I wrote that song, I realized that I was becoming that man. I was the one. I remember my wife saying to me one time, she says, you know, you just need a t-shirt that says right on the front of it, reasons. I was like, whoa. Oh, you mean you want to give that to my dad? No, that's for you. Oh. You know, I love doing this. I love coming out. I love playing music. It's kind of my happy place, you know. And I was working with somebody who was doing some marketing, getting a website and stuff going back some time ago. And she said to me, she said, you know, Travis, she said, I never wrote a song, but I got a good title to a song. And I said, really, what's that? She said, how many tears can this marriage hold? And I said, ooh, that is a good title. I like that. She said, well, write the song. And I said, okay. Another Friday night, she picks up the phone, says the boys are going out, I won't be long. Starts to raise his voice and she said, I've heard this before. He slams down the phone and he heads out to the bar. Kids are asleep, she feels all alone. It is early, but he's home in early morn. She starts to feel the anger inside, feels like she could explode. She falls to her knees and she cries out to the Lord. And she says, I know you hold every tear that I cry. You hold it in the palm of your hand, yeah. I'm crying here like I've cried before. How many tears can this marriage hold? Gets up in the morning, he hides from his shame. He's wondering why he did it again. He swore it would end, but it only begun. He says, I've had enough, I gotta go. And he says, I know you hold every tear that I cry. You hold it in the palm of your hand, yeah. I'm crying here like I cried before. How many tears can this marriage hold? I know you hold every tear that I cry. Hold it in the palm of your hand, yeah. I'm crying here like I've cried before. How many tears can this marriage hold? And I have to tell you, that was that song I wrote, I just sat down and I wrote, like just boom. I never wrote a song so quick. I was like, wait a minute, why did I write it so quick? Because that was me. That was me. I was that guy that was saying, hey, I'll be home early, honey. I'll be home early. And then when I came home at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd be like, well, honey, at 3 o'clock in the morning ain't early. Well, I don't know what is. You know? Foolishness. And it was sad, and she was so broken. And she really loved me. She's a beautiful lady. She's still a beautiful lady. And I had 3 kids with her. And I was like, man, I just wrote that way too easy. It was just a story of some guy who was just, didn't even know. And at the same time, she's crying out to God, I'm crying out to God. I had no idea how sick I was until I started getting well. And eventually she couldn't take anymore. She left. I remember I was so heartbroken. I remember that call when she said to me, she says, you know what? She was at her mom's, and she says, I'm not coming home till you're out of the house. And I knew, it was not like, okay, well, I'll just stay here. No, I knew I needed to get out. I knew it was me. I was wise enough to know, and I did, and here it was, I did not want to be like my dad. And my dad had 3 kids. He did the same thing. And I remember when she left, so now I'm like 30 years old. I got married at 18. So I was quite active. I was like, oh, dating, And I never wrote a love song, but then I started working on this love song. And I never finished it. It's kind of weird. It goes like this. What makes a man feel so helpless? What makes a man be so cold? Why would I give up my fortune when all I want to do is hold you tonight? Sometimes I feel uncertain. I worry about what the future brings. Don't have to worry about the future, long as I can sit there and hold you tonight. You make me so happy when I'm feeling sad. You make me forget those things that make me feel so bad. Well, I never finished the song, so I'm not going to try to finish it now. Because life changed for me. But the funny thing is, I used to sing that to I sang it to the girl in Boston. I had a girlfriend in Boston. And she thought we were going to get married. And I would play that song to her. I love you this song, all I want to do is hold you now. And I had a girlfriend in Arizona who thought we were going to get married. I love you this song. All I want to do is hold you tonight. And then, then there was another one in Atlanta. I used to go see my sister in Atlanta all the time. And she'd go, when I was on my way back from Boston. And she'd be like, oh, that's so nice. You always come out and see me. And then she met the other girl. And I said, well, I come out to see you. And I see her too. Well, she thought we were going to get married. And all I want to do is hold you tonight. But you know what? On that song was just crazy. And here's the deal. I wish I was joking about that. It's just so foolish. You see, after being divorced and feeling so empty and so ugly, I just wanted to know that somebody else might want to marry me. Might want to be with me. So I didn't even know what love was. I didn't know relationships. I didn't know any of that. And then I started thinking about that song. And I'm like, what makes a man feel so helpless? What makes a man be so cold? Why would I give up my fortune when all I want to do is hold you tonight? There's only one line in there that they go, oh, that's nice. Everything else is like, this guy's crazy. But you know what? I found out later what that song was about. Because I tried to finish it. And I tried to finish it at a time when life got really difficult. You see, my wife had left. I had this little apartment. I remember I lived in a Mansion Grove Apartments. I remember my little daughter was 5 years old. I remember I'd go pick her up at school. And she's telling all the ladies, and Susan, my ex-wife, told me, she goes, oh, you should have heard your daughter. Because at this Mansion Grove Apartments, it was a big old apartment complex. They had like 3 pools, and a couple different workout gyms, and tennis courts. And so the little kids would be sitting there, and little Molly's waiting for me to come pick her up from school and take her to me to the mansion for the weekend for the Mansion Grove. And I come up, and all the ladies, when I walk up, they're like looking at me. And I said, what was that all about? She says, oh, you should have heard your daughter. Oh, my daddy's coming to get me. He lives in a mansion. He's got 3 pools. He's got 3 workout rooms, like 6 tennis courts. And all these ladies are going, huh? And they're looking at Susan, and she's going, she just went along with it, you know. And, you know, so I had this life, and the reality was my world was so small. But I kept trying to be more successful. And on April 1st, 1998, my whole world would change. I was driving home one night after being out drinking, and I just closed the contract. And I was driving home, and when I got home, I was laying in there in my bed, and the police came in, and they grabbed me, and they were kind of roughing me up a little bit, and I thought it was an April Fool's joke because it was on April Fool's Day. I said, what are you guys doing in here? What's going on? I don't think this is funny. And I'm cussing. I'm like, get out of here. You know, I don't know who paid you to do this. Like I'm thinking somebody actually paid the cops to come arrest me. You know, this is an April Fool's joke. Well, one guy looked at me and said, no one's joking here. And there was a way he looked at me that I knew he was serious. And I got in the back of that police car. And just as we came into the Santa Clara County Jail, the dispatcher came on the radio and said to the man I hit back, I said, my whole life is over. My world is done. It's been rocked. And I lost everything. I got sued for everything. I deserve to have everything sued. As far as I'm concerned, I deserve to still be in prison. But by the grace of God, I'm not. But you know what? I was told nothing would ever go good for me. My life was over. That my life was done, you know, and I got, you know, you made your bed, you're going to have to lay in it, you're going to have to deal with it. And you know, I believed it for a little bit. But that's not what happened. You know, I did my prison time. I got a 6-year sentence. And I found this relationship with God that I never could imagine I could possibly have. And in this relationship with God, it changed my life. And I was talking to a guy about it once, a sponsee. And I told him, I said, buddy, let me tell you something right now. A lie never dies until the truth is told. You know, he was beating himself up because of his past. And maybe somebody here tonight is just beating themselves up because they did some stupid thing in the past when they were drunk. And they're thinking they got to live with it and they got to own it forever. And that their life is going to be set back and it'll never be good. Because I want you to know something. I was told I could never find a job. I was told I would never get married again. I was told nobody would ever want to be around me. I was told I was a murderer. I was told all these things. And as I was sharing with this guy, and he's telling me this stuff in his life, and I said, let me tell you something right now, buddy. A lie never dies until the truth is told. And the truth is you are beloved, and God's got a plan for you. And I looked over at the waitress. I said, can I have a pen? She gave me a pen, and I wrote it down on a napkin. I said, that should be a song. This world is full of lies, let the truth be told. I was born in trouble, struggle with it today. No matter how hard I tried, couldn't wash the stains away. Don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I made it through yesterday. Got God by my side, let Him lead the way. I'm never alone. Sometimes hold angels and I trust the devil's home. Paid my price for my wickedness and my life has been restored. No matter how I try, can't outsin the grace of the Lord. I never dies till the truth is told. Tree never grows till the seed is sown. Devil tries to steal your heart, oh, the Lord calls you His own. This world's full of lies, let the truth be told. So I got and I wrote that song. I was sitting there and I was thinking through it. And I said, man, I remember that song that I started to write back time ago. And I never finished. That song, All I Want to Do Is Hold You Tonight. I said, I want to finish that song. And I started to write it and I started to realize how foolish it is. Because now my mind's clear. I've had time. And all of a sudden I realized what it was. It's the only thing that made sense. I wrote that song to my addiction. All I want to do is hold you tonight. You make me feel happy when I am so sad. You make me forget those things that make me feel so bad. You know, it was like, oh, that's it. And all I want to do is hold you tonight. It wasn't a relationship with a person. It's so deceived. I was so deceived. And I remember how I was constantly fighting that feeling of deception. And I got my life back together. I got remarried. Had 2 more kids. In fact, I'll tell you a little funny story about kids. See, my daddy had 2 more kids too, and I'm so glad he did. Because we got Nikki G. I love Nikki G. I remember, so when I had my first child, I called my daddy. I said, hey, Daddy. I said, my wife's pregnant. He says, yeah, son, so is mine. That was Nikki G. So my oldest son is the same age as Nicky G. And anyhow, that off there a little bit. I do that occasionally. But I had 2 more kids, and my life was getting rebuilt. Got a good job, started a company, and things just started happening. And I had a nice place in Texas, and all of a sudden, I had a conversation with somebody. And they said, you think you're kind of all that, man. Yeah, you got your life together, but don't forget you killed somebody. You're a murderer, dude. And you know what? I started to believe it. I started to take it in. My whole heart just started going, and I started feeling horrible. And here I was doing all this music, and I was really at a peak, feeling good. But I started believing the lies. And I had a concert to do on a Saturday night. And it was a Wednesday, and I said, I'm canceling the concert. I'm done. I'm not going to go and play music for everybody and tell my story and about how God worked in my life and all this stuff. I don't even have a right to do that. And I just was crying, man. I remember I was so done with life again. Just like that, boom. And I was so involved. I was going into the prisons. I was playing music in the prisons. I was helping a lot of people. And so what do? You learn these things in the big book. Decided, I got to take it to God. I said, God, what am I going to do about this? And God put it on my heart like it was as clear as could be. He says, you need to write Hans a letter. Hans was the young man that I had hit on the bike. He was about the same age as me. I said, man, I got to write him a letter. So I started writing a letter. And when I really start putting my feelings down, that's usually in a song. Something about music is just where I can really pour out my feelings about things. So I wrote this down, and the letter became this song. Not a day goes by, don't think about you, knowing how you went away. I live with a lot of regret, knowing how the night ended. Oh, I'm sorry for your mother's pain. I cried to God, said, look what I've done. Won't you please take me away? God said I gave my only son, knowing someday you need my grace. Sometimes I must say that grace don't feel right. Blessings I receive, they're an undeserved prize. The love that He gives in the midst of my strife, it can't be explained. Sometimes grace just don't feel right. Will I see you on the other side? Will you greet me with a smile? We're sorry if it was finally understood. Will you see my grieving heart? How could could something so wrong turn right? How could so bad turn to good? God said, I gave my only son, knowing someday you'd need my grace. Sometimes I must say that grace don't feel right. The blessings I receive an undeserved prize. The love that He gives in the midst of my strife, it can't be explained. Sometimes I must say that grace don't feel right. The blessings I receive, they're an undeserved prize. Love that He gives in the midst of my strife, it can't be explained. Sometimes grace just don't feel right. You know, after I wrote that song, I felt free, man. I felt like my burden was just lifted. And you know what? I felt like, you know what, man? It's okay to receive the grace of God. It's okay to have a blessed life. It's okay for good things to happen to you. When you get sober and you change your life, it's okay. It's a good thing. Take it in. Be thankful. In fact, don't just take it in, expect it. You know, expect it. And embrace it. And take it in. You know, I was talking to this lady once, and she was at a soccer game. She had been crying, and I told her, I said, are you okay? She said, I'm having a hard time. I said, well, you're going to be all right. You know, God's got a plan for you. She said, Travis, don't. Don't, Travis. I know you're all into that spiritual thing, God's got you thing. I'm having a bad day. And I just told her, I said, well, I'll tell you what. I said, here's the deal. If you don't believe in angels, you can borrow mine. And I went home, I told my wife that story. And I said, I just told her, I said, if you don't believe in angels, you can borrow mine. I said, that should be a song. So you try whatever it is, hoping to find a way. But the drinking makes you weak and the smoke don't work no more. You try to get some sleep, you're pacing down the hall. If you don't believe in angels, then you can borrow mine. Oh, my angel is ready all the time. Oh, don't lose heart when you need heart to get you through. Oh, don't ever give up on life, just let your life be renewed, yeah. Oh, the lies in your head try to tell you that it's all your fault, yeah. Oh, sometimes God allows what He what he loved. And the drinking makes you weak, and the smoke don't work no more. You try to get some sleep, you're pacing down the hall. You don't believe in angels, you can borrow mine. Oh, my angel, ready all the time. You don't believe in angels, you can borrow mine. Oh, my angel, ready all the time, yeah. Ready all the time. If you ever want to borrow my angel, just say, God, I want to borrow Travis's angel. Trust me, angel does a lot of things. Oh, man. Well, I need to pause here for a minute. I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm so grateful to be here, and thank you all for being here tonight. You know,
Love you, Travis.
love you, man. I love coming out here. I love spending time with my little sister. I love her so much. And I love being out here. You know, I love the sobriety y'all have. It's really laced in love. You know, I feel so welcome with y'all. And I love the Zoom thing. You know, we don't have Zoom in Texas because when we had COVID, everybody just hung out anyway. You know? Nobody threw anybody in jail. You know, they just shoot you. You know, so you know, when I tell people, hey, you know, I'm the secretary in a Zoom meeting, they say, you doing what? You okay? Why are you doing that? I said, well, you know, we do Zoom. You do Zoom? You shouldn't drive like that. No. You know? So it's starting to get a little, you know, I get people, I get some speakers, you know. We got a good speakers out there. But you get them in front of a camera, I'm going to tell you stories. The camera didn't steal your story, you know. And I come out here, I get I love the beach. I love to walk on the beach. I love to just take it all in. And I feel so close to God when I'm walking in there and I look at how big that ocean is. And I was sitting out there and I was doing some music out here. And I like to write music out here. It's just very relaxing to me. And I felt this conviction, you know, I see. You know, and I had this thing where I just tell people, you know, they tell me they struggle with something, and I say, well, I'll keep you in my prayers. But, you know, I get busy, and I don't always pray for them. And I was sitting there, I was out there, and I was looking at people, a lot of things going on. There was a lot to pray for out there at the pier. And I got convicted. I said, well, quit just praying for people. Go pray for them. And just step out of your comfort zone and pray with them. I did. Anyway, I thought that should be a song.
playing music on a summer night, strumming my favorite song. When I looked down and I saw her, I knew something was wrong. She couldn't stop from crying, tears flowing down like rain. Oh, I knew something was wrong with her, 'cause I could see her pain. So I stopped playing music, stepped down from the stage, and I held her hand. She touched my heart, turned to her and said, I want to pray for you, that you will be okay. God removes all of your worries, brings joy where there is pain. I want to pray for you, that you will be alright. Oh, I want to pray for you. I want to pray for you tonight. Saw a young man walking down the street, head was hanging down. Oh, ripped up clothes and dirty feet, came in from another town. Feathers on the soft sand, smell of the ocean breeze. Oh, tonight he'll lay his head down upon the cold concrete. I could see that he was hungry, shame would make him starve. So I offered him some money, we prayed for a brand new start. I want to pray for you, that you will be okay. God removes all of your worries, brings joy where there is pain. I want to pray for you, that you will be alright. Oh, I want to pray for you. Want to pray for you tonight. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. My soul to take. 'Cause I want to pray for you, that you will be okay. God removes all of your worries, brings joy where there is pain. I want to pray for you, that you will be alright. Oh, I want to pray for you. I want to pray for you tonight. I got a couple more songs, but I just finished this one a couple minutes ago before I started. I might regret this. But then again, I came out here having no idea I'd be able to be out here tonight. Last week I was doing chemotherapy, and I'm like, man, you know, I'm fighting cancer, and I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding? You're gonna like schedule something at the Rainbow? You think maybe you ought to schedule something at the beach on a towel? You know? And I'm like, you know, I just believe, you know, I believe that, you know, you're only as sick as you want to be, you know. You can't live that way. You gotta move forward in things. And so I'm here, and I can't believe it.
And I'm so grateful you all are here, you know. And Nikki is such an inspiration. But you know, people are always asking me as I'm dealing with this cancer thing, they're always like, how you feeling? And you know, I've been saying, I'm not sure I'm feeling better, but I'm getting better with how I'm feeling. You know, I'm having some difficult times, but I get through it. You know, I'm feeling even stuff right now, but you know what? You move through. And I wanted to finish the song. I wanted to write a song, and I had no song to it, but I only had the tag. I'm not sure I'm feeling better, but I'm feeling better with time. And I didn't want it to be another one of those songs that never finished. Things didn't go the way I planned it. Wasn't ready for this fight. It seems as there's a battle I've been fighting all my life. I'm thankful for the struggle. It equips a broken man. It only makes me stronger to fulfill a greater plan. Not sure I'm feeling better, but I'm better with how I'm feeling. I'm content with all my struggles, counting all my blessings. Know there is a promise, says I won't regret the past. So I just keep on keeping on, yeah. Live today like it's my last. Not sure I'm feeling better, but I'm better with how I'm feeling. I'm content with all my struggles, counting on my blessings. Not sure I'm feeling better, but I'm better with how I'm feeling. I'm content with all my struggles, counting all my blessings. Don't worry about tomorrow. Today has problems of its own. So I just seek this power, love that overflows. Not sure I'm feeling better, but I'm better with how I'm feeling. I'm content with all my struggles, counting on my blessings. It needs some work, but there you go. But you know, that's it, man. You know, this cancer thing's no fun. But I tell you something. I'm so blessed. I have such a great life. I live one day at a time. Just one day at a time. That's all I got anyway. You know? And there's challenges and there's things that go on in our life. But you know, those are spiritual growth opportunities. And we have to look at it that way. You just have to. I thank you all for being here tonight. You know, I'm touched. I told that family the day I got sentenced. As I looked at the family, and I told them, I said, I can never repay what I've taken from you. But I'll forever tell my story in hopes that it helps somebody else. I hope that maybe something I shared tonight was helpful. But thank you for participating in what I believe is the life amends. You know, we share life with each other. However we may do that, God has given everybody talents and ways to do that. I'm going to close on appropriately called the Rainbow Song. You know, when I was a young guy, I used to ride my little bike, man, and I'd see a rainbow, and I would just, as fast as I could, I want to beat every kid to the back or side of that rainbow and get that pot of gold, you know. And I'd see, and I had a buddy, he had a faster bike than me. He used to always upset me. I always thought he's going to get there first. But you know, as I got closer to the rainbow, it just always disappeared. I never got there. And that's how it was with me when I got older. I never got there. There was never enough money. There was never enough. No matter how much I made, there were not enough zeros. No matter how I looked, I was just a broken guy. I was so miserable. And it wasn't until I was in prison. And I'm in prison and I'm looking. And I saw a rainbow. I'm in the chow line. Everything happens in the chow line at prison. And I see a rainbow. And I was, where's my bike? No. And and for the first time, I didn't think about the gold. I thought about the promises of God. You know, God gave us a rainbow as a promise that He wasn't going to destroy things for us anymore. And then no matter how bad it was in my life, no matter how bad things had gotten, God wants something good for me. So I thought about it. I said, that should be a song.
Making lots of money, not making any sense. Living in your dream world with your little white picket fence. Travel around the world, you know you try to make yourself a name. But you'll never be a winner if you live life like a game. You passed up all the Joneses that you used to keep up with. That brand new golden Rolex that you you wear upon your wrist. In the morning when you go to work, you gotta figure out which car. You would work so hard to be someone you don't know who you are. Don't let the gold remove the beauty of the rainbow. The rainbow is a promise, and the gold will steal your soul. You can't buy your way to heaven, oh, the Lord has paid the price. You just put your faith in God above. He doesn't need to be paid twice. Seen a lot of changes in certain people's lives. I never thought that there would ever be so much change in mine. I never thought that there would ever come the day that I said my money doesn't matter and Jesus is the way. I've been broke in the valley and I've sung on mountaintops. I've had my share of riches and most of it I lost. Don't let the gold remove the beauty of the rainbow. Rainbow is a promise, and the gold will steal your soul. You can't buy your way to heaven, oh, the Lord has paid the price. You just put your faith in God above. Just put your faith in God above. It doesn't need to be paid twice. Hey, thank you all so much. I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah.